Okay, we're rolling. Okay, can I have your name?
My complete name is Dr. José Quiñones-Segarra.
Okay. Doctor, louder, Dr. Quiñones? Go ahead.
Dr. Quiñones.
Okay. And can you tell something about your background, where you came from, and the history?
I was born in Lares, Puerto Rico, on March the 9th, 1933. And I was born of a family that had Sephardic roots. I've been the physician to all the family, so I've known the history of this family, of my family.
Can you tell something of your credentials, of your background?
Yes, I was born in Lares, Puerto Rico, where I studied up till high school, and then I graduated from high school in 1949 with high honors, and then I got a scholarship to study at the University of Puerto Rico, where I studied my BS degree in pre-med, and then I got a scholarship to study medicine at the University of Maryland School of Medicine in Baltimore from 1953 through 1957. I graduated in 1957 with my MD. Then I did an internship at Baltimore City Hospitals from 1957 to 1958, and I did another internship at Union Memorial Hospital in Baltimore, just across the entrance to the Johns Hopkins University, from 1958 to 1959. From 1959 through 1961, I served my 2 years in the armed forces, but I preferred to serve in the public health service rather than in the U.S. Marines. So they sent me to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to the Department of Health to organize and direct the rheumatic fever secondary prevention program. The campus, the Department of Health is right on the campus of the University of Minnesota. So I attended the grand rounds at the University Hospital. I stayed there for 3 years to study a residency in internal medicine. And then I moved on to Chicago, to Northwestern University Medical Center, where I did 2 years of hematology oncology. I finished in 1966, so I was in the States from age 20 through age 33. I returned to Puerto Rico to practice, and my first job was at the oncological hospital at the Puerto Rico Medical Center, attached to the University of Puerto Rico. And then I worked there for 3 years to serve, to pay to the government the time I had spent with the scholarships in the States. And then I had my office at San Jorge Hospital, which was a general hospital, a new hospital. And then I practiced there for 17 years, internal medicine and hematology, from 1966 through 1983. And then while at the hospital, I studied at night and on weekends to become a master's degree in metaphysics. And then I also studied, after that, I studied to become a psychiatrist at the Puerto Rico Psychiatric Institute, which was directed by Dr. Victor Bernal y del Rio, who had graduated from Columbia University School of Psychoanalysis. And then that was from 1978 through 1981. On becoming a psychiatrist, I moved to the Ashford Medical Center in 1983, where I have been practicing medicine for the past 25 years, medicine and psychiatry. And also, I have also been a spiritual counselor, teaching values to people.
How old are you now?
Right now, I'm 78 years old, 78 and a half. I'll turn 79 next March. And I work every day. I see 6 to 8 to 10 patients a day, not more than that. But I dedicate an hour or more to my patients as the need of the patient. I do teach spiritual values because I'm I'm a man of prayer. Yeah.
Good.
I'm a man of prayer.
That's sweet. Okay, can I ask you about, you mentioned that the family, you know the history of the family, your family. Can you tell us something about this?
Yes. I have been the physician to all of my relatives, and then I have buried the old ones, and Professor Jesus Maria Quiñones Piñeiro, who was a cousin to my grandfather, José Eugenio Quiñones Sotomayor. They were cousins, and then he told me that he had learned from his father, Francisco Quiñones Levy, that his grandfather had come from the town of San Germán, the city of San Germán in southwest Puerto Rico, which is the second city in Puerto Rico after San Juan. And then they have moved from San Germán to Lares in 1825, when Lares was founded by the Spaniards, and they gave land to Spanish people, so as they would become farmers there. So, and he told me that the Quiñones family, coming from San Germán to Lares, they had originally come from Curacao, because there were members of the synagogue in Curacao, which I think was the first or the second synagogue built in America. And then a merchant from that synagogue came to the town of Cabo Rojo, not far from San Germán, to the port of Cabo Rojo, to sell his wares. And then it did well with him, so he moved on to San Germán, about half an hour away, and then continued selling his wares. And then he fell in love with a Puerto Rican lady of Spanish descent by the name of the last name of Quiñones, and so they married. And then and from that family union came the Quiñones-Levy family, Levy, and then they moved on to Lares between 1825 and or perhaps in the early 1800s. But my great-grandfather was born in Lares, and his tomb is at the Lares Cemetery, and it says that Eugenio Quiñones-Levy was born in 1825 and passed away in 1913. That was my great-grandfather. And so I was told by my grandfather and my father that we have Jewish blood. So Sephardic blood. So I'm proud of that, and to have Jewish blood, and to be a descendant of the Sephardic people.
Okay. Can you tell me anything about the people of Lares? What are they? What kind of a town is Lares?
Lares is up in the mountains, about 2,000 feet above sea level. It's a coffee country, mainly, but also fruits and vegetables are grown there, and many people are farmers, and many people came from Mallorca, Spain, and from Barcelona, and also from the Canary Islands, and so that's where our roots are. Most people are of Spanish descent in my hometown. And the population of the hometown right now, and it has been like that, about 28,000 people, because people migrate to get jobs everywhere in San Juan or in the States or whatever they migrate.
So it's a small town.
I'm sorry?
It's a small town. You're saying it's very small.
Yeah, it's a mountain town. It's an hour and a half drive from San Juan right now. Mm-hmm. And then I go there every so often to see the relatives, the cousins and the relatives.
Very good. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Well, that I am a servant of God, that I teach values to my people, and that I'm very happy to work every day at age 78 and a half.
It's great. Thank you so much.